Hi, my name is Mehul and this is my friend Brian, and we are here to talk to you about how different types of competition occur within the communication business.
So let's start off with terminology that you will need to follow along. So there is indirect competition and direct competition. Direct competition is when two or more companies are selling possibly the same products or similar products. For example, Skype and FaceTime both offer video conferencing. Indirect competition is when two or more companies satisfy the same needs or want, though with a different product. For example, Facebook and FaceTime might not offer the same product, they do offer the same need for communication across the world and sharing information.
So, let's clarify what needs and wants are. A need is whatever that is essential or necessary for a person to survive, such as food, water, shelter, or in our case, communication, such as sending letters across the world. A want is basically a person's desire to make their life easier and in more luxury, but not necessary for their survival. For example, an iPad, MacBook, or in our case, specifically social networks and other forms of video conferencing modes, such as Skype.
So let's begin with the explanation of how competition occurred within the video conferencing field. Focusing on one major company that offers this one is Skype. Skype offers the customers the want to communicate by voice and video, also by instant messaging. Some of the major competitor for this Skype is iChat, MSN, FaceTime, and Uber.
Although, these are not the only competitors for Skype. As we can see, this sort of communication follows through the internet, therefore satisfying the want of communicating with each other across the world on the internet and sharing your opinions and receiving feedback. This can be satisfied with social networks such as Facebook and other competitors like Twitter, MySpace, Google+, LinkedIn, etc.
As we get deeper into this want, it can be broadened, and we can say that all forms of communication through internet does provide a sufficient amount of competition. This includes electronic mails, which only satisfy the requirement of instant messaging. This still remains to be a want. Some example of these indirect competitors are Gmail, Yahoo, Hotmail, Instant and etc.
Now, we have only been talking about communication on the internet, but there are so many other sorts of communication which happen on electronic devices. This sort of electronic device, which does not necessarily require the internet, are phones, which provide instant communication across the world and sometimes an emergency, which could be classified as a need. Some examples of competition over here is Apple, LG, Samsung, Nokia, Motorola, etc.
Lastly, we get down to the basic needs that all humans needed since the ancient time, which is sending a message across the world. Of course, back then there weren't any companies, but we are talking about the companies that satisfy the need to communicate and deliver huge packages, messages, or goods all over the world. Some of these competitors in this field are DHL, UPS, FedEx, and etc.
So there you go. Now we can see how a basic form of communication such as video conferencing by Skype can compete with so many other companies which might not even involve the same product but still competes with each other because they offer the same need in the end. I hope you have enjoyed our broadcast and found it informative, and hopefully now you have a better understanding of how competition takes place in the communication business.